Very good morning, students. In the previous class, we discussed about psychological aspects of a consumer behavior. Some parts we discussed. Today we are going to go little bit furthermore about the psychological aspects of a consumer behavior, which is unit 8. What is this psychological aspects of a consumer behavior? It's into individual thoughts, feelings, perceptions, influences purchasing decisions. Which key factors which are going to be influencing, including motivations, perception, learning, beliefs and the attitude. What exactly we're going to be call it as a definition of learning. Here, learning in a consumer behavior is the process by which individuals acquire knowledge, preferences, skills through their experiences, observations, through the interactions, subsequently which influence their purchasing decisions and the brand loyalty. What are the nature of learning? So, these are the nature of learnings like continuous process, change in behavior, involves interactions, active and dynamics. What is continuous process? Always learning is ongoing process. Learning never ends, which continues throughout an individual life. Learning is there. Change in behavior, maybe through the interactions, the behavior is going to be, it may get changes. It is going to be get involves interactions, active and dynamics. Next is cognitive and emotionals. It includes such as understanding and problem solving, and such as motivations, attitudes, beliefs, feelings. Sixth one is individual differences. What is individual differences? In the learning, various among individuals based on the factors such as prior knowledge, cognitive ability, learning style, motivation and environmental influences. Individual differences will be there. Contextual and the experiences based. What is this? Learning is often grounded as a personal experiences. These experiences provide a base for a new knowledge and help then reinforcements and modification of our existing knowledge. For example, when we had some amount of knowledge, when through the learning our knowledge will going to be get updated, or the knowledge and helps in the reinforcement or a modification of our previous experiences. What are the components of learning? So, these are the components of learnings. It is categorized into several types. Key elements are there that works together to facilitate acquisition of a knowledge. One is motivation. It is going to be call it as a intrinsic or in the extrinsic motivations, in what we discussed in the previous classes. Attentions, third one is perception, fourth one is encoding, storage, retrievals. What is encoding? Encoding is the process of converting information into a form that can be stored in a memory. The informations which are going to be, we are going to be storing in a memory, will going to be called as encoding. Storage. Storage refers to maintaining encoding information in a memory for the over period of time. Whenever we record, we are going to be recalling. Retrievals is the process of assessing storage informations when it is going to be needed for a individual human beings. Reinforcement, feedback, practice and the transfer. What is reinforcement? Strengthens learning by providing feedback or rewards that encourages that the perceptions, desired behavior, that retention of a knowledge. It means to say that removal of negative stimuli. Feedback provides learners with information about their performance. Practice involves repeated performance or rehearsals of a task or a information. It helps consolidate learning and improve proficiency and retention of a knowledge or the informations. Last one is transfer. Transfer is the ability to apply learned knowledge or the skill new situations or the problem. Effective learning promotes transfer, enabling individuals to generalize and adopt their learning styles. The next important 6 to 7 are the approximately 8 theories of learnings are there. Here in the learning theory, 8 learning theory approximately. So, I am going to be giving each and every theory gist about the theory. The first theory is behaviorism. What is the core idea about the behaviorism? Learning is a change in behavior resulting from external stimuli. It emphasizes observable behavior and the role of reinforcement and the punishment. Second theory is, we are going to be call it as a cognitivism theory. Here, what is the core idea of this theory is, learning is a mental process involving acquisition, processing and storage of informations. Third theory is constructivism theory. It's learners actively construct their own understanding and knowledge through experience and the interactions with the people. Fourth theory is social learning theory. What is the social learning theory? Learning occurs through observations, imitations and modeling. This theory tells. Fourth one is humanism theory. What it says? It says learning is a personal act to fulfill one potential. It emphasizes the importance of self-actualization. What Abraham Maslow defines 5 levels of a theories: basic human needs, social class. Like this, it will go up to a self-actualization. It will going to be defined in the humanism. Next one is we are going to be called as a experimental learning. What is experimental learning? Learning is a process whereby knowledge is going to be created through transformation of experiences. It emphasizes the role of experience, reflections and active experimentations. The next 7th theory, convictism theory, tells about the process of connecting specialized nodes of information sources. The role of technology and network in the learning process. The last theory tells about situated learning. What is this learning? Learning occurs in a specific context and deeply connected to the social and cultural environment. They told very specifically, specific context and is deeply connected to the social and the cultural environment. It emphasizes the importance of authentic activities and communities of practices. So, this 8 theory explains about the learning. So, this is will going to be called as a learning theories. Consumer attitude. What is a consumer attitude? Is will going to be called as a refers to the consumer overall evaluation of feelings, tendency towards product or a services or a brand or a market offering. It is a psychological tendency. It is a psychological feelings tendency that expressed by evaluating a particular entity with some degree of favor or disfavor. Consumer attitudes are shaped by a combination of beliefs, feelings, behavioral intentions towards objects can influence purchasing behavior about the customers. Characteristics of attitudes: one is predisposition, learning behavior, evaluate the statements, mean to say that attitude constitute of evaluate statement that reflects personal feelings towards an objects, which can be a positive, negative or sometimes be a neutral also. Influence on behavior. What is the influence on behavior? Is call it as a consumer attitude significantly influencing their purchasing behaviors. Mean to say that positive attitude towards brand often correlate with a higher likelihood of purchase. Mean to say that whenever we are having a positive attitude towards a particular brand, mean to say that we are going to be planning to purchase the product. Next one is intensity. Attitudes can vary in strength, with some feelings being more intense than others. The intensity can affect how strongly a consumer likely to act on their attitudes. It means to say that what is the level of intensity about the buying a particular product, or level of information what I am going to be having about the product. Functions of attitudes. So these are the functions: utilitarian functions, value expressive functions, ego defensive functions, knowledge functions. Next is we're going to be call it as the models of attitudes. What exactly are models of attitude? Consumer attitudes are essential for understanding purchasing behavior, and several models have been developed to analyze and predict these attitudes. The most prominent models includes, there are 3 to 4, I think 3 to 4 models are there. Number one, tri-component attitude model. In the tri-component attitude model, cognitive component, mean to say that, refers to beliefs and knowledge about product or a brand. Affective component, it's going to be involves feelings and emotions towards product or a brand. Mean to say that what kind of feelings, what kind of emotions I am going to be having about the particular brand. Behavioral components represent intention to act or actual behavior towards the product. Next one is multi-attribute model. In this model, again 2 things are there: attitude towards object model, may call it as the ATO model. This model evaluates attitude towards specific product or brands based on the perceived attributes. Mean to say that consumer developed preference based on the presence and evaluation of these attributes. Attitude towards behavioral model. What is this? This model emphasizes the consumer's attitudes towards the behavior of purchasing a product rather than the product itself. It often correlates more closely with actual purchasing behavior. Last 2 models is theory of resonant actions and a theory of trying to consume. This theory integrates cognitive, affective and behavioral components in a structured manner to protect the consumer behavior. Last theory tells theory of trying to consume. This model accounts for situations where the outcome of consumption is uncertain, it is not defined. It focuses on the consumer attempts to purchase or use the product rather than the final outcomes. Recognize the complexity involved in a consumer decisions. So this is we're going to be call it as a different models of a 3 to 4 models of a consumer models of a attitudes. We're going to be called as a models of a attitude. Thank you, students.